just with his presence tonight.
Yeah, he wants to see the state of the city. He told me this will be the end. And there's 30 minutes long. Where's Toby? You ready? Ready? Good evening. I'm gonna call this agenda meeting, the first agenda meeting for 2025 to order. As you can see, invocation will be Brother Norman Hurst. Councilmember Hart, if you'll lead us in the pledge, we'll approve the minutes and we'll move right on. We got resolution number, I'm sponsoring two things. Resolution number 1, which it went through on the committee meetings. Resolution 1 meeting where we assign people, and there are no changes from 24. It's the same as last year. The second thing is ordinance number 1 that Todd brought to me. And it does have an emergency clause because as they were getting ready for the bills and Todd, you correct me if I'm wrong, when they were getting ready to bill, the very top line of the ordinance where it says 5/8 and 3/4 senior citizens, they realized that the number there for 2025, the 2765, was wrong, that it was supposed to be $25.70, which is roughly $1.90 cheaper. They billed everyone correctly, but the ordinance is wrong, even though, so we just need to make a correction in that. Is that basically it, Todd?
That, and also you add a calendar into that budget.
Yes. Did y'all get that?
Well, we may have another one next month too.
Okay, but that's the reason I'm sponsoring that one. I'll need someone to make a motion that just will make us get everything right. And then we'll move into committee reports. Anything from the A&P Commission? No, sir, okay, thank you. Animal Service Committee?
Or not tonight.
Thank you. Commissions Committee?
No, sir, not tonight, sir.
All right, then we'll move into Community Services.
Yes, sir, we have one ordinance tonight and one resolution. Ordinance number 2, 2025, or ordinance amending section 6, or ordinance 35 of 2022, adding the intersection of Military Road and Coffin Street to the list of roads, ways, intersections where right-of-way canvassers and solicitors are restricted within the city of Benton. And for other purposes, resolution 2, a resolution to request the Swain County Tax Collector place a certified lien against real property located at 14 County Gray Street as a result of incurred expenses by the city of Benton in accordance with state law and city ordinance and for other purposes. That's all we have.
And all this came through the committee meetings. Any questions? All right, hearing none, we'll go to the Finance Committee.
Yes, sir. Tonight we have 1 ordinance and 5 resolutions. Part 3, ordinance number 3 of 2025, which is ordinance providing the city of Benton purchasing policies and procedures as adopted in ordinance number 68 of 2016 and revised in ordinance number 31 of 2021 and for other purposes. Resolution number 3 of 2025 is a resolution declaring certain property as surplus, authorizing the sale of surplus property to Chico State
questions tonight about any of those? Again, all those went through the committee and discussions were had at that time. Thank you, sir. We'll move to Parks Committee.
Yes, Mayor, I have one ordinance, ordinance 4/2025, ordinance setting, program rates for the parks and recreation department for 2025 season.
All right, any questions on that one? Mr. Donner, you're trying to get your mic on. Do you have a question? Oh, I thought, oh, okay. Thought maybe you had a question. Oh, okay, thank you. Nothing to report on personnel and health. P and Z Commission.
We have ordinance number 5 of 2025, this is ordinance rezoning 712 North Main Street in the city of Benton, Saline County, Arkansas, from R2 single family district detached housing to C1 neighborhood commercial in Southern Arkansas. Next ordinance is number 6 of 2025, this is ordinance rezoning parcel number 805-10100-001, that of 805-100-96-000 and 805-100-89-000 in the city of Benton, Saline County, Arkansas, from R2 single family district detached housing to C3 services commercial in other countries. And that's all we got.
Do we have any questions on this one? All right, if not, we'll move to the PUC Commission. Councilmember Hart.
Yes, Mayor, I have one ordinance, ordinance 7/2025, and it is an ordinance waiving competitive bidding for the authorization of ratifying the purchase of a 2024 Calico skid steer for the Benton Utilities and Electric Department.
Any questions on this?
That was the one again that was brought up, and they have an old one that's not, that's causing some problems, let's just say, and it's cheaper to, trade it in, that way we have parts that work for it, and that's why we're waiting to pay the bid.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor.
All right. All right, Streets Committee. All right, thank you. All right. And then tonight, we're gonna do the state of the city, and we'll do it a little different than what we normally do. Instead of me doing all the talking, each department head will present their slide and come up and brag and talk about the great things we've accomplished in 2024, and then I'll give you a summary. And so it's gonna be a little different than what you're used to, but it's gonna be a good night for it. So, all right, we'll call the agenda meeting to order, to finish it, and we'll start the council meeting at 5:40. I wouldn't mind it, but I can do it.
All you gotta do is say, say one listen and designate me. I'll do it.
All right. You want all my notes?
I have to pay attention.
Here's, this one's for resolution 5, explaining resolution 5. 1, 2, can you hear that? We can't hear it.
establish certain purchasing procedures to which the city must adhere. And whereas these policies and procedures, I hear myself, promote compliance with state law and also promote the financial integrity of the purchasing systems of the city. And whereas the City of Benton Purchasing Policies and Procedures 2017 was adopted by the City Council in ordinance number 68 of 2016, amended by ordinance number 31 of 2021, is hereby amended again to increase the bid purchasing threshold limit. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1. The City Council does hereby adopt the City of Benton, Arkansas Purchasing Procedures 2025, which is attached hereto as Exhibit 1, which is incorporated now by reference as if stated word for word as the purchasing procedures for the city. Section 2, this ordinance hereby repeals any other ordinances on conflict herewith, including ordinance number 2 of 1996, or 27 of 2005, ordinance number 68 of 2016, and ordinance number 31 of 2021. Section 3, if any provision of this ordinance or the application thereof to any person or circumstance held invalid, such invalidity shall not affect the other provisions or applications of this ordinance, which can be given effect without the invalid provision or application, and to this end, the provisions of this ordinance are hereby declared to be severable.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions from the council?
The one that changed the limit, correct? And that was really all that was changed on it? Okay. And it went to 30, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Is the limit stated in that anywhere?
In the ordinance, it's stated, I guess technically, yes, it's in the purchasing policy that's incorporated into the ordinance. But, it's the exhibit. But just to clarify or address it, the state changed the limit for purchasing without doing bids to 42,000 and change. The city's policy has been at $20,000. If anything over $20,000, we have to do bids. And through this, we're changing that to $30,000. It's on page 5 of the exhibit. Any other questions or comments from the council? Any from the public? Hearing none, can we take a roll call vote, please?
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
Trevor Valines,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes. Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Steve Brown,
Yes.
and Spencer Cole.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Ordinance number 3 of 2025 is duly passed. Councilmember Brown?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt resolution number 3 of 2025.
Okay. All right, we've got a motion to adopt resolution number 3 of 2025. Please read it by title only.
Resolution 3 of 2025, a resolution declaring certain property as surplus, authorizing the sale of the surplus property to Tico Safety and for other purposes.
This is a resolution declaring 8 Glock 43X firearms used by the police department as a surplus so that they can be traded in to purchase new firearms for the department. Any comments or questions from the council? Any from the public? All right, hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
Trevor Valines,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Steve Brown,
Yes.
and Spencer Cole,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
All right, resolution number 3 of 2025 is duly passed. Thank you. Councilmember Brown, anything else?
Yes, make a motion, we adopt resolution number 4 of 2025.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion to adopt resolution number 4 of 2025 and a second. Please read the title.
Resolution 4 of 2025, a resolution declaring certain property as surplus and authorizing the sale of the surplus property to Wildman Arms and for other purposes.
All right, this is similar to resolution number 3, trading in 12 shotguns for a credit to purchase 12 AR-15s for the police department. Any comments or questions from the council? All right, any comments or questions from the public? Hearing none, can roll call vote, please.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
Trevor Valines,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
Steve Brown.
Yes.
Ann Spencer Cole.
Yes.
Evelyn Reed.
Yes.
Bill Donner.
Yes. Resolution number 4, 2025 is duly passed. Councilmember Brown?
Yes, sir. Make a motion, we adopt resolution number 5 of 2025.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 5 of 2025. Please read the title.
Resolution 5 of 2025. A resolution authorizing the partial redemption of the City of Benton, Arkansas Capital Improvement Revenue Bonds, Series 2015 on March the 1st, 2025, and for other purposes.
Any comments or questions from the council?
Was the resolution to read by title only? I thought, I didn't hear that.
It's,
made.
a resolution is always by title only unless somebody asks to read the whole thing. If you want us to read the whole thing, it's not a problem.
Well, I like this one just because of what it does say on that.
All right.
Well, we have a written explanation of it too.
Either way. Go ahead, read the whole thing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Resolution 5 of 2025, a resolution authorizing the partial redemption of the City of Benton, Arkansas Capital Improvement Revenue Bonds, Series 2015 on March the 1st, 2025, and for the purposes. Whereas the City of Benton, Arkansas, the city has issued and outstanding its Capital Improvement Revenue Bonds, Series 2015, the bonds, and whereas the bonds are payable from and secured by the franchise fees received by the city from public utilities, the franchise fees, and whereas the City of Benton collects the franchise fees and distributes collections thereof for authorized purposes, and whereas the City Council has determined that it is in the city's best interest to apply franchise fees on hand to redeem on March the 1st, 2025, $1 million in outstanding principal amount of the bonds maturing on September 1, 2045. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1, franchise fees shall be used to redeem on March the 1st, 2025, $1 million in outstanding principal amount of bonds maturing on September the 1st, 2045. Section 2, the mayor as designee is hereby authorized and directed to take or cause to be taken all action necessary to accomplish the purposes of this resolution.
Yeah, so these are bonds that were issued in 2015 for street improvements and for the River Center. Initially, it was $6,455,000 financed over 30 years. This is the first year that we can make additional payments on it. On average, we pay about $300,000 per year on this. The payment this year was set to be $208,137.50. Next year would be just under $300,000, and it keeps going up from there. By paying this $1 million, we cut off 2.5 years worth of payments on the back end. We were set to expire or pay it off in 2045. Through this, it cuts that down to 2043, and that last year would be just under $150,000 in payments. So we're saving quite a bit of money and cutting a couple years off. The franchise fee that we received last year were $821,340. So we've got the funds to do it. $275,000 of that. Franchise fees budgeted for the general fund if we need to use it, but we haven't touched it in the last 5 years, and that's why we're able to make this extra payment. So any questions or comments from the council? Any comments from the public? Hearing none, can we take a vote, please?
Judd Hart,
Yes.
Trevor Vlons,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist, Steve Brown,
Yes.
Ann Spencer Cole,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow.
Thank you. Resolution number 5 of 2025 is duly passed. Councilmember Brown.
Yes, sir. Make a motion, we adopt resolution number 6 of 2025.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to read, to adopt resolution number 6 of 2025. If you'll read the title, please.
Resolution 6 of 2025, a resolution amending the 2025 Parks budget to increase the appropriation of grant revenues in the amount of $400,000 for the Greenway Phase 1 TAP grant and $774,662.38 for the Cherry DeMuth campsite project from the Outdoor Recreation Grant and for other purposes.
So this is a $1 million grant.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a this is to recognize that we've received $1,000,001, or, excuse me, over $1.1 million in grants for the Parks Department to put those into the budget. Any comments or questions from the council? Any comments or questions from the public? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Trevor Valines,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Steve Brown,
Yes.
Ian Spencer Cole,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart.
Yes.
Resolution number 5 of 2025 is duly passed. Or, excuse me, number 6. Councilmember Brown.
Yes, finally, I'd like to make a motion, we adopt resolution number 7 of 2025.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to read, or excuse me, to adopt resolution number 7 of 2025 by title only. Read the title, please.
Resolution 7 of 2025, a resolution amending the 2024 budget for the city as adopted in Resolution 110 of 2023, revising the budget to reflect the actual expenditures of the city and for other purposes.
Thank you. Yeah, this resolution is one that the auditors like, and this is really just to recognize we moved the budget to what was actually spent up or down for last year. Any comments or questions from the council? Yeah, it's a true up. Any comments or questions from the public? Hearing none, please take a roll call vote.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Steve Brown,
Yes.
Ian Spencer Cole,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
Trevor Valines.
Yes.
All right. Resolution number 7 of 2025 is duly passed. Councilmember Brown, anything else? All right. Moving on to the Parks Committee, Councilmember Hart.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to read and adopt ordinance 4 of 2025, please.
All right. We've got a motion and a second to read and adopt ordinance number 4 of 2025.
Ordinance number 4 of 2025, an ordinance setting programming rates for the Parks and Recreation Department for the 2025 season. Whereas the City Council has determined it is the best interest of the city to set certain programming rates for the City of Benton Parks facilities and programs that will help fund the operations of the Parks and Recreation Department. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas. Section 1, City Council does hereby adopt the programming rates which are attached hereto collectively as Exhibit 1 to this ordinance. The fees collected from these rates shall be used by the Parks and Recreation Department to fund its operations and expenses. Section 2, the rates established herein shall remain in effect until such time as the City Council modifies them by ordinance.
Any comments or questions from the council? Anything from the public? All right. Hearing none, please take a roll call vote.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Steve Brown,
Yes.
Ian Spencer Cole,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
Trevor Valines,
Yes.
Steve Lee.
Yes.
Ordinance number 4 of 2025 is duly passed. I'd encourage you to look through all the programming that you can see for anybody that wants to participate, dodgeball, pickleball, cornhole, all sorts of fun things there.
Should be 64.
64 different things, according to the mayor. All right.
That's all I
Councilmember
have.
Hart? Yeah,
That's all I have.
thank you. All right. Councilmember Spencer Cole.
Yes, sir. I would like to make a motion to read and adopt ordinance number 5 of 2025.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to read and adopt ordinance number 5 of 2025.
Ordinance number 5 of 2025, ordinance rezoning 712 and 716 North Main Street in the city of Benton's, Lane County, Arkansas, from R2 Single Family District Detached Housing to C1 Neighborhood Commercial and for other purposes. Whereas an application rezoning was filed with the Planning Commission of the city of Benton, Arkansas, requesting that the property located at 712 and 716 North Main Street in the city of Benton would be rezoned from R2 to C1. And whereas the Planning Commission ordered a public hearing to be held on January the 7th, 2025 at 6 p.m. for the purpose of hearing said application, no such hearing having been published in a newspaper having bona fide circulation in Saline County, Arkansas, with evidence having been submitted that all property owners or lessees within 300 feet of the property having been notified of said hearing. At said hearing, the Planning Commission recommend to the City Council that such request be granted. And whereas the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas desires to rezone the following property from R2 to C1. Now therefore Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas. Section 1, the following described property is hereby rezoned from R2 Single Family District Detached Housing to C1 Neighborhood Commercial. The address is 712 North Main Street and 716 North Main Street, parcel number 800-50547-000 and number 800-50544-000.
All right, thank you. Is anybody here to speak on behalf of these properties? Any comments or questions from the council? Any comments or questions from the public? All right, hearing none, please take a roll call vote.
Frank Baptist?
Yes.
Steve Brown?
Yes.
Ian Spencer Cole?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
Trevor Valines?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
All right. Ordinance number 5 of 2025 is duly passed. Councilmember Spencer Cole.
Yes, sir. Make a motion to read and adopt ordinance number 6 of 2025.
All right, we've got a motion and a second to read and adopt ordinance number 6 of 2025. Please read it.
Ordinance number 6 of 2025. An ordinance rezoning parcel numbers 805-10100-000, number 805-10096-000, and number 805-10089-000 in the city of Benton, Saline County, Arkansas, from R2 Single Family District Detached Housing to C3 Service Commercial and for other purposes. Whereas an application of rezoning was filed with the Planning Commission of the City of Benton, Arkansas, requesting the property located at 712 and 716 North Main Street in the city of Benton be rezoned from R2
Oh,
to,
that was the last one, I think.
oh, it's a typo then.
I'm looking at number 6.
Okay, this is a typo. This part's repeated.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so it needs to say property
Sorry.
located at,
3517
Yeah.
Coach Road.
3517 and 3521 codes.
okay. Requesting that the property located at 3521 Coates Road and 3517 Coates Road be rezoned from R2 to C3. That is correct. Whereas the Planning Commission ordered a public hearing to be held on January the 7th, 2025 at 6 p.m. for the purpose of hearing said application. No such hearing having been published in newspaper, having a bona fide circulation in Saline County, Arkansas, with evidence having been submitted that all property owners or lessees within 300 feet of the property have been notified of said hearing. At said hearing, the Planning Commission recommended City Council that such request be granted. And whereas the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas desires to rezone the following property from R2 to C3. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1, the following described property is hereby rezoned from R2 Single Family District Detached Housing to C3 Service Commercial. Addresses 3521 Coates Road and 3517 Coates Road. Parcel numbers 805-10100-000 and number 805-10096-000 and number 805-10089-000.
Is anybody here for these properties? Any comments or questions from the council? Any comments or questions from the public? All right, hearing none, please take a roll call vote.
Steve Brown?
Yes.
Ian Spencer Cole?
Yes.
Evelyn Reed?
Yes.
Bill Donner?
Yes.
Jeff Morrow?
Yes.
Judd Hart?
Yes.
Trevor Valines?
Yes.
Steve Lee?
Yes.
Jeff Ham.
Yes.
Frank Baptist.
Yes.
All right. Ordinance number 6 of 2025 is duly passed. Councilmember Spencer Cole, anything
That's
else?
all I have, sir.
All right. All right, next up, we've got the PUC Commission with Councilmember Hart.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to read and adopt resolution 7, ordinance 7, 2025.
Second?
All right, we've got a motion and a second to read and adopt ordinance number 7 of 2025. Please read it.
Ordinance number 7 of 2025, ordinance waiving competitive bidding, authorizing and ratifying the purchase of a 2024 Caterpillar skid steer for Benton Utilities Electric Department and for other purposes. Whereas it's been determined that ratifying the purchase of a 2024 Caterpillar skid steer for Benton Utilities Electric Department is needed immediately in order to continue providing needed services to the community. And whereas the mayor and the city council of the city of Benton, Arkansas have determined that it is in the best interest of the city for Benton Utilities to purchase a new 2024 Caterpillar skid steer without competitive bidding in connection therewith. And whereas City Council wishes to authorize and approve the transaction described below. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Benton, Arkansas, Section 1 is in the best interest of the city to allow Benton Utilities Electric Department to purchase a new 2024 Caterpillar skid steer from Riggs Caterpillar 9125 Interstate 30, Little Rock, Arkansas 72209. Copies of said quote and supporting documents are attached to this ordinance and incorporated herein by reference. Benton Utilities authorized and directed to purchase from the vendor set out in said quote a 2024 Caterpillar skid steer for the Benton Utilities Electric Department at a cost not to exceed $66,707.15. All actions of the Benton Utilities Department in pursuing the purchase authorized herein from Riggs Cat prior to the formal adoption of this ordinance is hereby confirmed, ratified, and approved. Section 2, the requirement of competitive bidding for the purchase hereby authorized is deemed not feasible, practical, and therefore is waived. Section 3, the mayor and city clerk hereby authorized and directed to execute such additional documentation as may be necessary or convenient to fix the purposes of this ordinance.
Any comments or questions from the council? Any comments or questions from the public? Hearing none, please take a roll call vote.
Ann Spencer Cole,
Yes.
Evelyn Reed,
Yes.
Bill Donner,
Yes.
Jeff Morrow,
Yes.
Judd Hart,
Yes.
Trevor Valines,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Jeff Ham,
Yes.
Frank Baptist,
Yes.
Steve Brown.
All right, ordinance number 7 of 2025 is duly passed. Before we get to the state of the city, do we have any public comments? We've got the calendar there for February of 2025. You see the council meeting next month will be on February 24th.
I do have a question. So in the ordinance, did it say, the one for times of meetings, did it say meetings are gonna be at 6 now?
No,
Oh, okay,
it says immediately following the agenda meeting.
okay.
All right, any other public comment? Okay, we'll move into the state of the city.
And this time, we're gonna start with animal services, and every department will head, come up and tell you what a positive year they've had in '24. So,
Just like Vanna White. I don't know if she had a microphone.
All right,
turn it on.
we've got a malfunction.
Operator error.
Okay. I just want to let you know, 2024 was a great year for Benton Animal Services. We maintained our save rate, 93%. That keeps us in our no-kill status, which that's one of the things we're trying to do over the U.S. for 2025 is every shelter be no-kill status. Our adoptions was real good. You can see we did several community events. Our microchips that we've been doing for our citizens has worked out real well, and it's continued to grow. Goals for 2025, we're going to maintain our no-kill status, our certified officers. We're going to be moving into the new shelter. They've completed the dirt work, so they should start the concrete pad later this week. We're expanding our foster program and increasing our community development. One of the things that we put in there we had the 2025 cold weather foster program, and we fostered out 28 dogs, and we got 17 dogs adopted out from that, so I thought that was really great. So we had a wonderful 2024, and it's gonna be a better 25.
Talk to them just a minute about the chipping program and how many chips we installed throughout the year.
Oh, the microchips, y'all authorized, I believe it was last year, to start the microchip program. It's free of charge for all the citizens of Benton. We're probably hitting close to 1,000 microchips and for the animals, and it's really paid off, because as we're in the community, we see a dog running loose. Everybody has a microchip reader on their vehicle, We can check that microchip, and if it's one of ours, we immediately return it to
didn't that contribute to the 200 reclaims we had?
Yes, that helps out a lot on the reclaims. And, we've expanded it also to, the folks in the county, but they do pay a $10 microchip fee, but to the citizens, it's free.
All right, thank you.
All right, community development. Community development's all about facilitating growth, and when we do grow, we do so smartly, but with common sense. And then also, too, we work to protect the infrastructure and help protect the city, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. With respect to protecting our infrastructure, we help protect the community. City leadership invested in 2 additional code compliance officers. Notice I said code compliance, a hat tip from Animal Services and Bruce and Mayor Farmer. We changed from code enforcement to code compliance, and that helps us focus on more of a carrot approach than a stick. And it's done a great deal in terms of more comprehensive approach, taking on a more comprehensive approach to code enforcement. We have now 5 code compliance officers total, 1 for each ward. It allows for a territory management approach, a much smarter approach to following up, each officer knowing their territory much better. And that resulted in, we're up about 40% in demo permits, up 40% in condemnations. And I think a restructuring and going into adding those 1 officer per ward has helped a great deal in that. On the Planning Commission items on the lower right there, what's of note, you'll see some of this reflected in the permit data on the next page, but we have 25 new subdivisions that we approved last year, and that accounts for 1,388 lots that people can grow and build homes into. So talking about that growth, facilitating growth, that speaks to that right there. These are some of our permit data. You can see that our commercial and new commercial was down about 10%. Commercial remodel was up slightly. Of note, though, we were up about 30% in terms of the new residential permits. And so you can see that being reflected where we introduced new subdivisions and new lots for homes. Some of that's reflected in the new residential permit date, new permits. Overall, we were up about 15% or so in total construction permits. Our valuation and permit fees were down slightly. That's because where our commercial permits were lower. All of our permits are based on square footage, all the construction permits, and the commercial permits tend to be the high dollar amounts and the higher valued properties. That's all I have. Any questions?
You might share that the commercial permits are already up for this year.
They're already up for this year. They're trending up very, very nicely. And we had a couple of nice ones out of the gate there. So that's trending up already as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the city clerk's office, if you look at the license and permits that were issued in 2024, all of those license and permits represent revenue to the city of Benton. And the one that I want to bring out is a special events permit, which I thank this council for passing that in 2023 because it's been very beneficial. So, you know, when the individuals are doing one thing in the city, they don't have to get a privilege license. They can get that special event permit. And so we saw 55 last year. So thank y'all for that. And then below you'll just see a list and just some examples of the type of new businesses that we had in 2024.
All right, thank you. Matt?
All right, hey guys. Obviously, this is kind of the fun part. We have our marketing special events. We had a phenomenal year this past year. I'm really excited. We ended up doing some very targeted marketing. We had some billboards and things that we put throughout the city and the state, and I think it really showed in some of our demographics that we have. We see that all of our target markets that we had billboards, we had people come to our events. I think that's really important. Thursday was phenomenal. We doubled each one of our attendance from previous year. Our small town Christmas, despite the fact that we had a couple of days that got rained out and just bad weather, we had just a phenomenal turnout there. What we really try to do, what the mayor and I really have discussed over the last several years, is how we want to find our niche and how we want to build the brand that people can come to Benton. And the brand that we've kind of come up with is This Is Home, and how we want people to come here, stay here, and ultimately they want their kids to come back and be a part of it. And I think these 6 events that we sponsor alone are doing just that. There's obviously some other ones out there that some private partnerships that have there. Our swap shop is the most requested event so far that we have. Every time I get stopped on the street, somebody says, when's the next swap shop? I want to come down and buy other people's stuff. So it's a great time. Again, I'm excited about this year. We're going to be doing the same targeted branding and targeted advertising, and we're hoping to really increase some of these this year. May, we're gonna break the world record for the longest Hot Wheels track, and Guinness is involved in that and that kind of thing. So stay tuned for those things.
And I want to say that I challenged Matt the year before to make everything better than it was the previous year. Our numbers on Thursday averaged 4,500 in attendance. We only had 5 Thursdays instead of 6 this past year. We had several rainouts for the small town Christmas, and so our numbers really increased due to the billboards he's taken out and the way he designs them and plans them. So he's done a real good job, and look for this year to be even bigger and better with the new stage that Parks has partnered up with. So we used it the other day. It's phenomenal. Okay, thank you, Matt. All right, streets, John.
All right, this slide speaks to the good work that our team done this past year with the getting the overlays project completed, to signal lights and sidewalk projects, and the grants are still ongoing. Just done a real good job with the maintenance that we do as far as mowing and different things. This next slide goes back into our drainage, where our drainage projects really took off this past year. We repaired and fixed a tremendous amount of drainage issues, and it carries me over to the yard waste pickups, which is a great thing for our citizens that we can do this. And that we hear daily that they appreciate that, and that's pretty much what I got.
Wait, John, let's point out, because we did over 100 yards a week of debris pickup once it starts in October, which is pretty phenomenal, The drainage projects, it was over 100 projects this past year, which is a pretty amazing in itself. So they're constantly working. They put up over 300 new street signs, paved 20-some different streets this past, repaved 20-some different streets this past year, and already started paving streets this year. So they're working extremely hard to make every day better for our citizens. All right, thank you, John. Stephanie?
All right, on to parks. So we're really proud of the growth that we've seen in 2024. We are the most visited park system in Saline County, so I think that's something to be proud of. Over 32,000 visitors. Day passes sold at River Center. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can y'all hear back there?
Hello. Can you hear me? 1.1 in grant money awarded. Some of those you were made aware of tonight, of the Cherry DeMuth Campground area and Saline River Greenway Phase 2. We also have 3 other grants in the works right now that are about 60 to 90% completion. So working towards a lot of great things for 2025. Average increase of visitors from 2023 is up 26%. And I think that says a lot about our park system, the amount of people coming to Benton from out of state. Our bike park was one of the biggest projects that I've done in my 10 years here with the city of Benton. 12,500 visitors, just at the bike park alone, and that is from 6 different states. Bike park was also named Single Track's top 9 bike parks to open in the USA for 2024, which is a really big deal, where we were up against Colorado, different places that have a lot of great trails. So that was something to note department of achievements. The department, not only the individuals and the staff that we work with, but our department has received a lot of great accolades, been recognized in the state, and we're probably top 5, if not top 3 in the state as far as parks departments go. So we're really proud of that, and we appreciate your support and look forward to 2025.
And a great job the Parks Department has done is a lot to do with what you approve every month here. So we thank you for that. 26% increase in people attending our parks is amazing. That's a huge increase. And it has to do with the way we remodeled parks and the things that we've added and the things we've done. So, all right, Chief.
I'm going to file a complaint for having to follow Stephanie. Last year.
Noted.
Noted.
Give
Okay.
it to me.
We made 3,919 total calls for service to the citizens of Benton. Of those, about 2,300 were rescue or EMS runs, and the rest were one form of fire or another. In the world of mutual aid, we both give and receive mutual aid to all of our surrounding departments, and you can see those numbers there on the board. Most of our mutual aid is with the city of Bryant. At the time that we made the PowerPoint, we were fully staffed with 72 firefighters on shift. I've since had one letter of resignation, a 2-week notice. Have a gentleman going to pursue another career. We wish him the absolute best. In 2024, we finished with the 5 new hires that we got. Luckily, 3 of those were already fully certified firefighters that came from other departments. Currently, we have 24 firefighters per shift. Moving over to the training hours, 14,753 training hours. Through the course of the year when we weren't fully staffed, if you took all of those hours and divided them by a fully staffed department, that was 204 hours per firefighter. We've got 4 SWAT medics that operate with the Benton PD. We just had 3 live fire instructors get certified in preparation for our live burn training facility. We have just finally started getting back in some of the elementary schools since COVID, and we've operated in 5 of those, putting on puppet shows, smokehouse demonstrations, and fire education courses. We conducted a lot of outside training, and by outside training, we received outside training, and we also gave outside training. Our training officer did several CPR classes for churches and taught some fire safety classes here and there. I'll note one of the highlights on that, 2 weeks of active shooter training that was conducted over at Bauxite High School over the summer. That's in coordination with multiple agencies, which includes Benton Police Department. And I'll say that in 2021, 2022, the Benton Fire Department and Benton Police Department actually organized and started that active shooter training. And it has, it's now turned into a county-wide operation with multiple departments. We conducted about 1,400 fire hydrant inspections inside the city of Benton, and we do that twice a year. Annual business inspections were approximately 900 commercial properties. That number is a lot higher if you add in like daycares, schools, and churches, which is mostly conducted by admin personnel. And I think that's...
And as you can see, their fire department is very active in the community. They're out in the schools, they're out conducting commercial inspections, but the most important thing I wanted to point out was those 1,400 fire hydrant inspections twice a year, because that's what keeps us safe. When we need water, they know whether we got it or not. They work hand in hand with utilities to make sure that we got the water pressure we need. And that new water line that's fixing to start any day is going to help us with our downtown flow. So, all right, Chief.
So the mayor told us we had a lot of people to talk and a lot of slides to get through, so no disrespect, I'm gonna take a minute. It's gonna take me a minute to get through this.
You got a minute.
We have a lot of stats we do for the police department. The stats you get monthly are probably a quarter of what we produce. I don't bother you with all that because it's just a lot of information. So there is a lot of information I want to share with you, but I can't. They told me to be quick. So I narrowed it down
They
to
could read.
Huh?
They could read.
So the big things there that I take pride in, y'all know we are at every event. We attend every event, and we're well seen at these events and around the city. We attended 29,000 hours of training this year, which is phenomenal for a police department our size. You can read the other numbers. They're pretty impressive. In 2023, you all, this council, the mayor, pushed for pay scale adjustments to get us where we needed to be in order to compete. You know our numbers have been down over the years. We've been as low as probably 20 open positions at one point. We're now with 3 open positions, and we're almost at the end of our testing cycle to get some hiring in. But I want to show you what you all did for the city of Benton and the police department. And I know you can read, but in 2021, we had 62 people apply for our department. The year you passed the increases, 186. In 2024, 233. 2 applications shy of the highest we've seen in 14 years. That's pretty impressive. So I want to thank you all for that. That is huge. In 2023, I stood in front of you talking much like I am today about our numbers, and I presented this to you. Lowest numbers we'd seen in 11 years. Overall crime rate in Benton had been reduced, lowest overall crime rate in 12 years for the city of Benton. That night when I went home, I kind of worried, did I jinx myself? Did I talk about it too much? I also thought, there's really no place to go from here but an increase in your crime rate. So if I'm going to brag about it, and I'm going to brag about the men and women of the Benton Police Department, I have to do it when we have it, because it might not be there tomorrow. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? So last year, we saw another crime reduction, and I didn't say anything. So this year, I want to brag about it again. You can read our numbers. Robbery, lowest in 13 years. Burglaries, auto thefts, and arson, property crimes, lowest in 14 years. Those are huge. Our overall crime rate for the city of Benton is the lowest it has been in the last 14 years. This is our 6th year in a row, to have a reduction in our crime rate. That is huge. Name me any other city, any other department that has those numbers. And I believe you're going to have a hard time finding that. It's not only the men and women of the Benton Police Department that have caused this, it's you all too, what you've done to better our employees. And I want to thank you all for that, and I want to thank the men and the women of the Benton Police Department. I think this is huge.
A great job, Chief. And one thing that I want to emphasize, that what helped with this was not only the pay raise, but the leadership we have, but also 29,000 hours of training. 29,000, kind of like the fire department with their hours of training. And it's important that we continue with that. All right, Mandy.
Okay. And we saved the best numbers for last, of course. So last year in 2024, we had the most revenue that we've ever received yet. Total budget, and that's everything between general fund, streets, parks, A&P, everything, $54,239,399.41. Of course, that's not on that slide. Majority of that, of course, is sales tax. Everybody, I know Alderman Lee, that's his favorite report that he gets each month, is a sales tax report. Some of the others that are really important that we get, Benton Utilities in lieu of franchise, and then property taxes. Just in general fund, we receive almost $2 million worth of property taxes. But our growth has been great in 2024, and we have everything to think that it'll do the same thing in 2025. Here are our revenues for streets and drainage, parks, public safety, advertising and promotion hit an all-time high of $2.1 million. A couple of years ago, we were excited when it hit 1.5. So we are over the moon for A&P, and we know that 2025 will be even better. With all of those funds, one of the things that Mayor Farmer has been so excited about has been setting aside monies for future projects. Here's a list of some of those future projects. Most of those have been dedicated, as in the animal control facility. We've already went out to bid, signed a contract, and it's about to break ground. It has broken ground. Future salaries reserve account, that is about the price of what one payroll would be in the city. Fire truck reserve, I know Chief Evans is super excited. He's already got one ordered. Future fire training facility, we put that bid out last week. We hope to get that back, and we'll talk about that in February Finance Committee. And then at the end, you'll see all of these future street improvement projects. A lot of these are locked up into CDs, and we try to make sure that we can turn as much money as possible in those so that we can help them do more projects throughout the year. Accomplishments. So there were a couple accomplishments. The main one that we're all excited about is the renovation of the 410 River Street complex for our new city hall. We estimate that completion will be the first quarter of 2025. Once we vacate this building, then the police department will be able to move forward with renovation of this building for the new police headquarters. Again, that contract was signed in the end of 2024. Again, we had talked about the animal services building. Parks was able to purchase a large event for city events with the help from Farmers Bank and Trust. And the ARPA funds were used to complete 2 different projects for Benton Utilities for their infrastructure. That's the sludge basin and the Clearwell improvements. The 3rd project was signed at the end of 2024, which is for the downtown water line along South Street. And we project that to be completed in 2025. Salary and wage benefits. There was a complete overhaul of the employee handbook in 2024. That has been before you guys, January of 25, for proposals for us to be able to make a little bit of tweaks, because we always want to make it better each year. We ended 2024 with 246 full-time employees, which, as Chief Hodges had talked about, that's awesome for the police department, because out of that, that's 9 vacant positions, and he was at the lowest that he's ever been since I've been here. 2% annual raises were put into the budget and were given out to all of those employees of June 2nd, 2024. Health insurance premiums, we were extremely fortunate, did not have an increase in that. The city was able to continue with y'all's help to be able to pass that along. We would still pay 100% of the employee-only premium and 75% of employee plus family premium. Open enrollment. One of the exciting things that Mayor Farmer had wanted to do was to offer our employees a choice in health insurance. In the past, they'd only been able to have one plan, and you either got family or individual only. So we offered this. You could keep what you had. No one's going to be upset with keeping what they have. And then we offered them a high deductible plan. And if you went with the high deductible plan, you also got an HSA contribution for that. We had 27 employees take the high deductible plan. We're excited to see how this is going to run in 2025, and possibly more people will take that in the next year. It is net neutral to us as a city as to whether you take the traditional plan or the high deductible plan. It's the same amount of money that's budgeted, so it's not a savings either way.
Thank you. As all of you can see, our departments are doing a fantastic job, not only being creative and innovative, but also handling the budget and making sure that we don't overexpend, but we save for future projects. Man, the statistics you just heard are amazing, and it tells you that our city is in good hands. Part of it has to do with all the hard work and dedication they do. Part of it has to do with what you approve and discuss, and part of it has to do with the way we make this home for everyone, providing the best we can possibly provide with the monies we have. So I'm telling you, 24 was a good year, but 25 is going to be a better year, because we're never satisfied with what we did the year before. We always got to get better every day. And our goal is to be better in 25 than we were in 24. So I'm already excited about what's fixing to come and how it's going to be presented to you in the state of this city next year. So look forward to great things, because this is the best year ever. Big announcement, February the 19th, 1 p.m. Buc-ee's will have a groundbreaking. I sent that out in the email. I want the whole public to know it, and I know we've got watchers, so I'm putting that out there in the air. So thank each one of you department heads. I know it's a little different than what we normally do, but they deserve to brag on their departments. What Stephanie did, 9 awards last year for the Parks Department, 9 awards. And we had so many other awards that we just didn't have time. We could be here till midnight and brag on what we're doing in this city, honestly. Well, we're just giving you the highlights. Drive around town and look how it's improving every day. Guys, great job. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, I will also be getting over this cough, I hope. But I'll also be sending the State of the City out for the first time ever in a newsletter to all the citizens. I've been sending a newsletter out at the end of every month, and I'll be sending it out January the 31st of this year, so it's to present more of a transparency of what we're doing. So, in saying all that, thank you for being here. I know we're here a little longer than normal, but this meeting's adjourned. Thank you, Baxter, for moderating.